Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc love the kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Hey, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to catch us on our other shows, Plays and Parlays, Civil Discourse, UFC with LT, and The Friday Fix. Welcome back, Senior Wesley.
Hey, welcome back, man. It's good to see you, bro.
It's good to be back. Very good to be back.
Hey, we always get into, I think we've been talking, we were off camera talking a little bit. We're like, hey, we've been talking about Trump so much, man. We kind of wanted to get away from talking about Trump.
Yeah, we just want to give you some basic news stuff that's going on.
It's tough. It's tough.
It is tough because he got his finger in everything. Until he doesn't want it in everything.
But I think we've kind of gotten wrapped up in what's been going on with him, but he's kind of got the world wrapped up in what's been going on with him. You know what I mean? And so our first topic is kind of about him, but kind of about the state of the United States more than anything else. It's more about the state of the economy. I mean, I won't say that I've been feeling tariffs as much. I'm not sure if you felt it anywhere on any of the prices. Maybe we're just not paying attention.
Not yet. I mean, I'm kind of old and I buy the same things. I shop at the same places. Like, I know, like I before you'd be able to go grocery shopping in one store, and that's what pisses people off these days. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't just go to your Safeway, your Kroger, and just shop there one time. Like I have to go to, Winco and go buy my meat and stuff. Then I have to go here I go to Safeway to get my veggies because I like their veggie setup. I used to work there. And then I have to go to different places to shop, and it's what I have to do. And you have to use coupons. And so I think that's what, like for me, it's like I just don't shop at one place.
Absolutely, man. But new tariffs, alarming jobs numbers, and high-profile firing. A wild week for the Trump economy. Trump's putting the squeeze on businesses and consumers while bringing in billions of dollars for the United States government. A job market that is showing signs of cracking even as the unemployment rate remains subdued. Tech stocks surging on Wall Street, fueled by artificial intelligence boom, as many other sectors are ailing. As Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said on social media earlier this week, the Trump economy has officially arrived. The past week was already primed to be a doozy for data, while investors and analysts eagerly anticipate updates about economic growth, jobs, and the Fed's latest interest rate decision. Major companies like Apple, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft reported their latest financial results. Trump's deadline for trade deals was set for Friday. But what happened this week turned out to be more extraordinary than anyone expected. I'm sending off red flares. We're on the precipice of a recession, said Mark Zandi, chief economist at Moody's Analytics, a financial research company. If tariffs keep increasing, I don't know how we avoid a recession. Coming into this week, the U.S. economy had generally been considered in good shape, despite mounting uncertainty and concerns about slowing growth. The week kicked off in Scotland with the announcement of a deal with the European Union that would set tariffs at 15%, ending months of uncertainty surrounding the United States' largest trading partner. Trade talks then moved to Sweden, where the leading officials from the U.S. and China held 2 days of negotiations. The talks yielded neither a deal nor formal extensions of two countries' trade truce, which will expire August 12th. The meetings were very constructive, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told reporters after the talks wrapped up. It's just that we haven't given the signal off. The meetings were very constructive. Given the importance of trade relations between the world's two largest economies, the cliffhanger meant that the cloud of uncertainty created by Trump's tariffs gambit persisted, despite having deals been struck with other major trading partners, including the European Union and Japan. Tuesday offered very little reason for renewed optimism, with the international shipping giant UPS again declining to issue financial forecasts for the rest of the year, prompting investors' concerns about the impact of Trump's shifting trade war and causing company shares to tank. What they're saying right now is also that the U.S. economy grew at 3%, beating expectations. Which was a good sign, for the U.S. economy. Growing at 3% is always really, really positive for us. We're about a 2%, 2.5%, maybe 3% sometimes. kind of growth. I mean, which is great for us because the larger your economy is, the harder it is for you to grow. It's easy for our emerging economy to grow because they have nowhere to go but up. They're already kind of in the dumps, you know what I mean, of anything. So that's why you see 5% up to 8-9% growth from places like China and India. You can see that there because they have a lot of room to catch up.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so that right now with the tariffs, I haven't really felt a lot of tariff kind of, burdens on me, but that's because August 1st was like the deadline for a lot of these tariffs to start really kicking in for a lot of these different countries. And so we got a trade deal with the European Union, which, that'll make sure the luxury brands and, champagne and things of that nature we buy for them, probably cars, things of that nature won't go up in price. But we still have Brazil, which is we probably buy a lot of produce from them, other things of that nature.
Especially in the wintertime. In the wintertime, a lot of our produce comes, actually the majority, I'll say about 90% of our produce comes from, I would say 80% comes from South America.
Really?
A lot. Yeah. Think about it. It's because it's cold up here.
Mexico, places like that. We buy a lot of our produce from these guys. And at the same time, we have these jobs numbers that have just, that have been abysmal. I mean, you got Trump coming out saying he's going to fire, the person who collects the jobs numbers, the analyst, because a simple fact that he didn't like the numbers. He said, this is a Biden appointee. Let me go ahead and fire him. This is unprecedented what he's doing right now. You're basically putting the fix in.
It's like you're trying to fire a teacher because she gave you a bad grade. But the truth is, because they said in May, at first it said 144,000 jobs were created, right? They revised that to only 19,000. And then in June, they said 147,000 jobs were created. Then they revised that to 14,000. Well, they said layoffs in America have hit about 800,000 people have been laid off in America. Let's see. No, my bad. 744,308 job cuts nationwide. And they keep coming. I don't know if you've seen Butterballs. They've been closing factories left and right.
And we got to remember, people, they're going to look at this and say, oh, well, why are they revising the numbers? They're doing something against Trump. Historically, this has always happened because you got to remember, you get July's jobs numbers on basically whatever the first Friday is of the next month. So we got July's jobs numbers pretty much on August 1st. Why are, what I'm saying? Like we have to, they're going to get more data later. This is what always happens. So this has happened during Obama's presidency. It happened during Trump's first presidency, happened during Bush. It happens on everybody. And so, and for him to go back and say, basically, I'm going to put someone in there who's going to make sure I get favorable jobs numbers. Like, if you guys don't see the dictatorial kind of attitude that he's walking around with, our economy is ailing because of a lot of these jobs probably were jobs that he's cutting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you don't think that this is happening. You don't think that these people are losing their jobs when the Supreme Court comes back and they say, oh, no, it's fine that you cut these jobs. And then all of a sudden now you go ask them. That's a real job that you just cut.
Well, think about that. You got to think about that, too. And think about how much stuff gets, like, I remember when he was last in office, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He did something with China. So they cut off, and I always bring this up, they cut off because I'm from Washington. They said no one can import gooey ducks to China, right? And China's 90% takes gooey ducks, right? He crippled the gooey duck business here in Washington just from that. So imagine how much stuff is not getting shipped out of the country because of what he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people are going to lose their jobs. Some companies, they probably expect, hey, we made a move, but we're waiting on this one big shipment. Then we get back and that shipment never happened. So people are losing their jobs. And then it doesn't help that AI is coming in and taking them too.
Absolutely. I mean, and it's like, it's almost like he was a guy they put in place to do this because he knew that you guys would go for it and there'd be nothing anybody else would do about it at the end of the day. He knows if you can get both sides to kind of put up with it, because we don't, this side of the aisle, I guess you would call it, we're gonna hem and haw and we're gonna get back at you later. But those jobs are gone. The other side, if he can convince the people who really need those jobs at the same time, he can convince you that it's fine. Oh, it's fine. Those jobs are. Oh, you don't need these government jobs. They're out of here. You don't need these jobs over here. They're out of here. Now we got to have AI coming in at the same time, taking more jobs. Who's going?
I thought the jobs report would be better because all these poor people that were getting free handouts are supposed to be working now. So what's going on?
Where are they going to go work at? You know what I mean? When you're cutting all these positions, you don't get a company. If I'm a company and I know that I can, if I got to say I got a workforce of 10 people and I can cut 7 of those jobs, you think I'm bringing them back for what?
Yeah.
For what? Why am I going to bring back these jobs to you for now, even though you need them? I'm like, I don't need those people. I cut my overhead. I'm putting more money in my pocket. I can get the same work out of these 10 people. Out of these 3 I got out of the 10 people I had before. For what? Huh. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. This is where our economy is heading, and we have to start making
adjustments.
Absolutely. Everyone's going to have to start making adjustments. They put out lists of like 40 different jobs that AI is going to affect the
driving
most.
Jobs pretty soon. Even the job that I work on my daily, like I can see that they're trying to ramp it up to get machines to take it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you're dealing with even any kind of brokering, when you're dealing with anything like that as well, when you're calling and talk to different brokers or different companies, they have an AI answer the phone for you. Oh, can I take your number?
I went to Wendy's, brother, and the drive-through lady was an AI, and she must have thought I was fat because she keeps giving me double meals, and I'm like, I'll take it.
I mean, but this is where we're heading. Because why am I going to have a person do this job right here when I can have this thing do it here, and then when I really need someone for you to talk to, I'll have a guy down the line for you to talk to. But by the time you get there, he's already probably talked to 3 or 4 people because it's going to take you so long to get through this AI.
Well, you get so frustrated, you hang up, and you either deal with it, or by the time you get to somebody, it's someone foreign anyways.
Or you go online and do it.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden I can either use my online system, it's quicker for myself, or I can use this is where we're going.
People
folks.
need to learn how to can food and just prepare. I mean, and it's crazy how the price of everything's going up and everyone's losing their jobs. But I guess they're okay with it because they're just going to hide it now.
It's going to happen.
I mean, think about it. They fired the people that were doing the climate change report. They're like, this is what the climate's going to look like. They fired them.
Fire them all.
Try to bury the report.
And you guys are good with this. It's to me, it's just baffling to listen.
I don't think a lot of people are good with it. Actually, I think there's a lot of bots online because I think a lot of people, they're just having buyer's remorse. And the one guy said, "Hey, just admit you were lied to. That's all you have to do. Don't admit you regret your vote or what. Just admit you were lied to."
I mean, to me, man, you wanted this, man. This is exactly what you were good with. I don't even want to. You can say I was lied to, whatever you want, but if you fail for this, it's an issue. And I can't say that I just look at Trump, everything's like horrible about him. I'm not going to say that. There's things that are good about Trump. I mean, I think some of his we'll see where he pans out with them. Some of his foreign policy issues are good. I mean, okay, he's trying to take a tougher stance on Russia, not seeing any actual doing.
He said first president to stand up against Israel and say something.
Yeah, I mean, but he's still allowing a genocide. But I mean, there is some kind of movement when he's talking about I'm going to send in food. There is something going on. Yeah. There's something cooking more than just we're Zionist. There's a red line and everything else that's being
Israel has a right to defend themselves.
Exactly. So I mean,
even though that was almost a year and a half ago, and
hopefully its economy can get better, but I don't see it happening with these tariffs and with the way things are going and with us spending more. I mean, where are we going to get the money from? People are not going to have jobs to pay taxes. I don't know. I mean, rich getting richer.
Well, don't worry. You get no tax on your tips at the end of the year. It only is so much.
Hey, it's crazy.
That's only good for 3 years.
Who's going to have those jobs after 3 years?
Nobody.
AI. Yeah. Robots are going to be dealing with those. So it won't be you there worrying about tips anymore anyway. So
I'll be happy for that. Everybody want a tip. Except for this, guys. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting, funders of NPR and PBS, say it will shut down after cuts by Congress. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting announced Friday that it will begin shutting down weeks after Congress canceled previously approved funding for the nation's steward of public media access. The CPP said in a statement that it will begin an orderly wind down of its operations after nearly 60 years with the support of the federal government. It said that most staff positions will conclude with the close of the fiscal year on September 30th. A small team of employees will remain through January 2026, it added. It did not specify how many people in total were being laid off. Despite the extraordinary efforts of millions of Americans who called, wrote, and petitioned Congress to preserve federal funding for CPB, we now face difficult reality of closing our operations. The corporation's president and CEO, Patricia Harrison, said in a statement, CPP remains committed to fulfilling its fiduciary responsibilities and supporting our partners through this transition with transparency and care. The announcement comes less than a month after Congress passed a package of spending cuts requested by President Donald Trump that included stripping $1.1 billion funding for CPB.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, I know you brought this up a little bit earlier, saying there's just, we all grew up.
Yeah, those public broadcasting, the Caillou, Sesame Street's with HBO, so they'll be fine. But I mean, I listen to Bird Note. I don't know nothing about birds, but I love to hear it. Bird Note. You know what I'm saying? You'll say people don't, Tiny Desk. You ever seen the Tiny Desk specials?
No, but I know I have seen those.
Yeah, that's PBS.
Yeah, I mean they do a lot of good. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the programs that we watch and we able to
on. It's free public access. And you may not like the news, but I like the news on NPR. You know why? Because they give you the news, they keep pushing. They may interview somebody, but it's just straight news. It's not like, well, we do opinion-based news. But NPR was just, boom, here's the news. This is what happened. Here's a witness. Next thing. Here's the news. I liked it. I went to NPR because I got tired of watching the news on TV because it was opinion-based news.
And I really hope that, I've seen...
Who going to put a Billy on it?
I've seen Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg's been coming out. He's been supporting certain things that this administration's been cutting. And I feel like, if they can get like a stopgap measure for maybe 3 years, some kind of a stopgap kind of funding for 3 years from one of these annulments or something like that. I mean, not annulments, I'm sorry. But one of these programs that are out there, one of these grants out there that can kind of help them out with those. I think that'll be a great thing for them. But because I think the next administration will definitely help them out. We'll definitely put them back in.
If there's anything even left, if someone doesn't step up now and actually help them, I don't know if America could raise 1.1 billion to keep them, we got to do it every year. And they already asked for money. But the whole thing is, if they're gone, they're going to shutter. It's over. None of this stuff is coming back. If we can't save it now, it's over.
No, that's what I'm saying. If someone's going to have to step up very quickly, if I'm Democrats, I'm stepping up and pushing for this to be saved.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they need to be partisan, but I'm stepping up and getting this saved because this is like actual news. There's a lot of things that I watch on there, and this doesn't give me a viewpoint of any way. It just gives raw facts.
The Democrats need to be replaced. Huh? All the Democrats in there need to just like MAGA came in and they were like, look, you Republicans are too weak to be doing the stuff that we want to do. And they replaced them. They came out, they campaigned, they got in position, and they made it happen, and we're in the position now. And Democrats, you let PBS go. You know what I'm saying?
That's huge.
PBS has been around PBS has been around since TV's been around. It's public access for people that can't afford cable. You can plug your TV in and watch PBS. You can go online, your kids can watch educational shows.
Why are we blaming Democrats for that being?
Because I blame Democrats for a lot of stuff, because they're too weak to actually step up for something. Look, they just got 5 congressional extra seats for Republicans in Texas. And someone said, and Cory Booker was on, people were like, if the Democrats don't step up and actually do something about this, then they shouldn't be leading.
But you look who already stepped up for that situation, California.
That's Gavin Newsom. He should have ran for president. You didn't want that, but I wanted Gavin Newsom to run for president. He should have put a man against Trump.
I'm not really keen on Gavin Newsom. I'm not trying to say that. Some of the things he's talked about recently, but some of the things he's been for, it's hard for me to support a Gavin Newsom. I'm not trying to say that it'd be very difficult for me to support a Gavin Newsom just because of the stances he's held and certain things he's done over in California. It's not something that I'm very keen on.
See, that's the lesser of two evils, right? But look at the evil that's hitting us right now.
No, I understand. Don't get me twisted. I get it.
You got to get on board, sir.
It's principle. I understand, but sometimes it's just principle. Why are you going? So if you're willing to support anything, then who are you really?
If Gavin Newsom walk to the podium, would you vote for him?
It ain't got nothing to do with that.
What if you just hit it? Just hit it cold. Hit it, stop, swipe it. Get back up. LA, baby.
Hey, Trump says he's deploying 2 nuclear subs after a highly provocative statement from Russia's Dmitry Medvedev. President Donald Trump said Friday that he has ordered the deployment of 2 U.S. nuclear submarines in response to what he called highly provocative statements from former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev and about Russia's nuclear capabilities. Based on the highly provocative statements of the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now the deputy chairman of Security Council of the Russian Federation, I have ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in appropriate regions, just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that, Trump wrote in a post on Truth Social. Trump added, words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Tensions between the U.S. and Russia have escalated this week as Trump and Medvedev have exchanged threatening statements. Trump doubled down on the move later in the day, telling reporters as he departed the White House that he had ordered 2 submarines as a safety precaution. Well, we had to do that. We just have to be careful. And the threat was made, and we didn't think it was appropriate. So I have to be careful. So I do that on the basis of safety for our people, Trump said when asked about the deployment. A threat was made by a former president of Russia, and we're going to protect our people. The Russian embassy in Washington, D.C. did not immediately respond to requests for comment about the remark on Friday. In another post Friday, Trump spoke about the Russian and Ukrainian death tolls during the conflict and reiterated that it's war that should have never happened. This is Biden's war, not Trump's war. I'm just here to see if I can stop it. The president pointed comment at Medvedev appeared to be in response to the Russian official's Telegram post on Thursday, in which he wrote that Trump should revisit his favorite movies about the living dead and just how dangerous the mythical dead hand can be. Russia's so-called dead hand system is a secret automatic or semi-automatic nuclear weapons control system developed by the Soviet Union during the Cold War. Medyev's post seemed to respond to a Trump's Truth Social post earlier in the day that he said he doesn't care if India and Russia take their dead economies down together. Tell Medvedev, the failed former president of Russia who thinks he's still president, to watch his words. He's entering very dangerous territory, Trump wrote.
Yeah, and then so Trump wrote this on Truth Social. He said, based on the highly provocative statements of the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now the deputy chairman of Security Council of the Russian Federation, I've ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions, just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. Words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. Hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now check this out. Russia threatens us with nukes attack all the time. We report the news. We see it so much. It's kind of like your dad when he gets drunk and he says he's going to leave your mom, but he doesn't. And after like the 8th time, you're kind of like, yeah, whatever, dude. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Happens all the time. This is the deflection from the jobs report because it's not working.
Yep. The jobs report. I mean, he fired. Another deflection was firing the person. Yeah. This is another deflection from Epstein at the same time. Oh, put nukes out there. Oh, put everybody on basically on edge.
The submarines carry the nukes. People don't understand. Look, I live next to a submarine base. You know what I'm saying? We have enough nukes on this base to blow up the world 7 times over. It's fine. I can tell people that. It's known. You can look it up. 7 times over. Every time a submarine leaves, it's a nuclear submarine. They have nukes in them. So he just moved the subs. He's just making it seem like, oh, look, I put these nukes in the place. So he just did
over words, man. And really, you're raising tensions for nothing.
Yeah.
You're raising tensions over a situation. They're already at war.
Russia flies. They do fly their bombers hella close to Alaska where they got scrambled jets all the time. Mm-hmm. All the time. But you never hear about that, right? It's news. It happens all the time. Because Russia's right there next to Alaska. It used to be Russia. But yeah, they fly the jets right by there. We scramble jets all the time. It happens. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he's just doing this to deflect, but it's not working. People are like, yeah, what's that got to do with you touching little kids?
And I think a lot of this is just distraction in my eyes. Like, hey, I said this already, man. He'll start a war or be involved in it. I don't even feel like Trump is a warmonger. I don't feel like he is. I mean, I watch a lot of things happen. If he really wanted to go to war, we could have been at war on several different occasions. I think he does things that he knows he can get away with.
Well, remember the time, I always bring this up, the time he attacked Iran, he did something to him. I think he killed somebody, but then they bombed one of our bases over there and he was like, whoa.
Soleimani.
Yeah.
It was customs.
And then he backed down. He backed down, especially when Russia was using the bounties and they were hunting our soldiers. He backed down.
I don't think he really war is not good. I mean, it's good for certain stocks. It's good for companies. Don't get me wrong, especially if you're investing in those companies, but it's not good for business.
I think Trump would send us to war to stop everything. Remember, we bombed Iran because he thought that would stop the Epstein stuff and it didn't.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. To stop the Epstein thing, I think he's willing to do anything. I think this is one of those situations. There's really no reason for us to escalate tensions between Russia right now. There's really not. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. If a person's at war, they're tense right now. They're ready. It's trigger. You know what I'm saying? It's like hairpin trigger. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's how they're feeling right now over there. So why are we sitting here antagonizing them by sending nuclear submarines into different regions or positioning them? So now we can take their already war, readiness and be pointed over at us. Not saying they can beat us. I don't have any doubts that we would handle them, easily. But that's not the point. Right now is not the time to be sitting here playing word jostling with someone who isn't even the boss over there. It'd be different if it was Putin saying all this stuff. This dude ain't even the boss. He ain't even second in control. He's like in charge. He's like a cabinet member somewhere. He doesn't have any power, but you're going to scramble submarines, nuclear submarines, and put them in positions right now. Like you're ready for war, for our country to go to an actual war over words. That's just weird to me.
Yeah. No, I mean, and it's gonna be more escalated too. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, but also, folks, we're gonna leave you with this. Should Congress be banned from trading stocks? Should members of Congress who regularly get briefings on major global developments before the public hears about them be legally permitted to trade individual stocks? Or should that kind of insider knowledge come with restrictions on their ability to invest? Americans who take the latter position may be happy to learn that a key Senate committee has narrowly voted to send legislation prohibiting federal lawmakers from buying, selling, and owning individual stocks to the full Senate for a vote. The Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee on Wednesday voted 8-7 to send the bill to the floor for a vote. All Democrats voted in favor. All Republicans, except for John Hawley of Missouri, voted against. Before doing so, the panel made the legislations also apply to the next president and vice president, effectively a carve-out for President Donald Trump, and they changed the name of the measure. Hawley, the bill's original author, had cheekily introduced it as the preventing election leaders from owning security and investments, Pelosi, and a nod to the GOP accusations that Democrat Rep. Nancy Pelosi's husband, extensive trading relied on insider information. No evidence has emerged to support the allegations. But I think none of them should be able to trade stocks.
I think this is Josh Hawley. It was an actual, a really, really big name in the Republican Party for a while now. He was one of the people who were looked at as like one of the next big things out of the Republican Party. He's kind of petered out. He was the guy who was there, who walked out of the Capitol building and waved his hand
with the fist,
and then got in the car and got driven off before they flooded the building. Yeah. He was that guy. But Josh Hawley is a Republican out of Missouri. He's the one who authored this bill. And he was getting into it when they had the panel, like I guess it was 15 of them right there. When they had the Senate panel, they were just talking about it. He got into it with Langford, and I think he got into it with Scott of Florida. Scott of Florida. I mean, Hawley was like, "Hey, I'm not a billionaire up here. This, that, and the third. I sold all my stuff before I became a senator. I got rid of all that." And he had Scott, who's a Florida senator. He said basically, he was like, "Hey, you know what? Why are we begrudging wealth? I'm a businessman. You know what I mean? Don't be mad at me. I still want to make money. Why are we angry with people for wanting to make money?" And this is their point of view. And Hawley comes back and saying that's not the point. We just don't want you using the people's, you know what I mean? What we know from laws that we're passing, we don't need you guys using that to make money.
Yeah.
Period.
Because they're passing laws. They're taking stuff away and they're changing things. And they'd be like, well, I'm going to invest in this, and then I'm going to pass a law that's going to make this stock go up higher.
Because they know inside, because they already know between each other. They know they counted the votes. They know what's going to pass. Yeah. So let me go ahead and buy this stock now because we know we're about to put X amount of billions into the whatever bill this is, or we're gonna take billions away from there, or we're gonna deregulate or regulate this industry. So I know to pull or put money in based off of this stuff right here.
And so that way, maybe they want to raise the federal minimum wage. You know what I'm saying? Why I got to raise it? I'm making my money. I worked with a lady one time at Safeway, and she's probably still there. I hope she retired. She was the head of the union. And she was like, yeah, I got a union meeting. I was like, were you going to help everybody get a raise? She's like, no, I already got mine. I don't care about nobody else. I was like, damn.
That was a tough one right there.
Yeah, I was like, damn, she said that.
I mean, everyone's on Nancy Pelosi because they're saying she's worth like $240 million, right? Off of $174,000 a year salary, notwithstanding that her husband was already a million, like he had tens of millions of dollars before all this even happened. He was already investing in property, all kind of stuff, stocks, whatever he had. This is not to say, because I know there's a whole app right now that's used to vote just like Nancy Pelosi. There's like this guy made an app. I'm not sure he was like a college kid or whatever, made an app saying, hey, vote like Pelosi. And that you make, he's getting better returns than most of all the, no joke. And I like Nancy Pelosi. I do. You know what I mean? So this is not the basher. I'm not just, hey, coincidence is coincidence with me. I believe that it is what it is. Something's not right. You should not be making the rules that govern, the stock market, or even knowing where the money's going to go, or knowing who you're going to take the money away and be able to say, oh, now I get to also cash in on the results of this, because already it's already insider trading. Every one of you should be violated for insider trading, because only go get the ones they want to go get for it. You would go to Wall Street and get them for the exact same thing that you're not able to be gotten for. Scott, man, you should have heard him, bro. It was like this dude. He's basically admitting to what he's doing. I'm not doing any insider trading. You are.
Yeah.
There's no way that you cannot be, because you know what's going to happen.
But remember when the Americans tried to do it? Remember the GameStop stuff, folks? Remember when do you remember that?
Yep.
And then they shut down the apps. They're like, oh, y'all can't do that. When we do it, it's bad. You know what I'm saying?
And that's not even insider trading. That was just basically us saying, you know what? We're all going to push this stock up. That's not insider trading. There's nothing wrong with that. If me and 20 of my friends would say, hey, let's all invest in this stock. That's not to say, or let's all short this stock right here.
Yeah.
That's not insider trading. That's just not. you can do whatever you want with your. If I know information that is saying, oh, this company. If I come out and I'm like, okay, this company's quarterly earnings is going to be this, and it's not going to be released until tomorrow, and I go out and sell all my stock based off of it. That's insider trading. Yeah. That's what that is. That's not to say people can collude and say, hey, let's all put our money into this company right here. There's nothing wrong with that. It's when you have information that's going to lead to something falling or dropping based off of real information that nobody else should have. That's different.
Which they're doing now. Because I mean, like, you got, what's his name? Who's the vampire looking bald guy that's from California that's married to one of Trump's family members?
That's a cold
Stephen Miller.
Okay.
Stephen Miller. There we go. You know, he owns stock in all the people that are deportation stuff.
All the immigration.
So he just got paid.
Yeah, I mean, when you're pushing this is how you get insider trading things that truly happen. When you're the people pushing the bills, you're saying, oh, let's go ahead and push to put these people in facilities. Oh, let's go ahead and fund states now to put 680 or whatever, 600 something $million in the states, putting more people in these facilities. And then I'm investing in them at the same time on the side, but then I'm pushing for the administration to get this done. That's what you call insider trading, man. Yeah. That's exactly what that is. So let's hope that this passes, but we just saw a kind of a blueprint of what's going to happen. 8-7 with all Republicans voting against it, except one. They really had an 8-7 vote the other way. If you look at it, they really did. And then one Republican votes with the 7 other Democrats that give them 8-7. What's going to happen in the Senate? The Democrats don't have a majority in the Senate. Even if 2 or 3 Republicans act like they want to be chivalrous and say, I'm going to vote against this, like they always do. They'll grab a few of you guys. Hey, you're always against this kind of stuff. You go ahead and vote with them. But let it be 50-50. Then what? You bring in J.D. Vance, 51-50, and it just so happens to fail. We tried, you guys.
We didn't try nothing.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. They do it all the time. But what do you guys think? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Should Congress be banned from trading stocks? And with that, it's Uncommon Courtesy. Until next time.